Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today we're going to talk about some healing and some emotions and some things like that. I was reminded that our choices create everything in our lives. And this can be a little frustrating for us because I just want to hear. I have this. I have this tendency to beat myself up. Like, man, if I'm really held accountable for everything I'm creating in my life, and I made that choice that created this, then it's like there's a part of me that's like, well, I'm never going to be able to get it back. I'm never going to get back to that path of the life that I wanted to create, which is silly because, like, you really can choose to recreate things or change your choices now and get you headed back in that direction again if that's what you really want. So I got a little frustrated and I was like, okay, what am I going to do about this? And I just thought, okay, let's just work through some of the places I made choices that I'm beating myself up about. And one of the more recent ones is the day that my mom died. And I feel there's so many emotions in that day, but I had some regrets. My mom was doing pretty bad, and I went to see her, and she didn't have her glasses on, she didn't have her oxygen on. I wish I would have remembered that she probably couldn't even read our lips. She had a hard time hearing anyway, and then she had so much oxygen going in that's all she could hear. She kept telling people to turn off the TV because it was too loud, and what she was really saying is there's so much static I can't hear. And she sent me away, and I left. I chose to leave. I didn't. When she said, I'll see you tomorrow, and I knew that I wasn't going to see her tomorrow, I didn't tell her. I just left like she told me to, and there's some regret there. There's some feelings there. And I've healed a whole bunch of feelings on this. A whole bunch of feelings on that day, and that was such an emotional, big day in my life that there's still more to do. So let's talk about the 3 major sets of feelings to deal with and how you deal with them, because I think this is valuable information. When you want to go in and heal a memory, there are basically 3 types of emotions to deal with. One is anger-based emotions. Yes, anger is a secondary emotion, but anger also hides the other emotions, so we have to address that one. And when I say anger-based, I'm saying go in and looking for anger, but it's going to be, what are you pissed off at? What are you livid? What are you disgusted? Disgust's a kind of anger. So there's like all of these emotions that are angry-based. And you're just going to go in and look for the anger and trust that all of these other anger type things like rage, all those things are going to come up for you to acknowledge. You're going to acknowledge that you feel that way, because a part of why emotions trap is because we don't even acknowledge that's how we're feeling. We're just like trying to push it on and go on with life. So it doesn't mean that you have to go around feeling this. It means that you're going to acknowledge, I feel pissed off because, I feel angry because. Acknowledge it. You don't even have to say why if you don't know why. That's okay. Sometimes it helps to know why. Sometimes it just helps to know that you feel anger. And you're going to acknowledge, I'm feeling angry. And you're going to acknowledge that it's okay. Embrace it. All right, I'm feeling it. I'm embracing it. I embrace that I feel angry. And I'm feeling it. And you're just going to allow yourself to feel it and feel it and feel it. And make it bigger. And then also you're going to love that energy, because love will heal it. And you're going to forgive it, and you're going to forgive yourself. So you just be like, I acknowledge that I'm feeling angry, and I embrace that I'm feeling angry, and I love that I'm feeling angry, and I forgive myself for feeling angry, and I forgive the other people involved. And you're going to use these things to clear the energy. And you're going to notice that what you resist persists. So as long as you persist being angry by like hiding it, not even acknowledging it, as long as you persist or resist that you even feel that way, it's going to keep growing, and it's going to grow and grow and grow until you can't. Or it will come out in a health issue in your body. So it will come out. It can't stay buried forever. You're either going to have a health problem, you're going to create angry people in your life, you're going to create yourself being more angry. Whatever it is, you've got to get this anger out of you. When the first layer of anger is gone, you can ask yourself for the second kind of emotions, and that's hurt. You're going to have sorrow and grief and heartache and loneliness and forgotten and all these other kind of things that are hurt-based energies. And just know that whatever causes hurt is going to be addressed and healed. Whatever those painful emotions are, you're going to acknowledge that you feel them. You're going to, I feel hurt. I embrace this hurt. I love this hurt. I forgive this hurt. And then go in after and do this with anger as well. I'm growing this hurt 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. Just, I want to feel it all and love it all and just really embrace it all. And allow that energy to shift inside of you. Because you're not resisting it anymore. You're acknowledging it and you're loving it and you're appreciating it. Because, you know, we love and appreciate these feelings because they tell us we're alive and because they are a part of us and they're always here. Everything is here to help you become the best you can be. We just don't always use it to do that. So like that pain is there for a reason. And you appreciate it and you acknowledge and you feel it and learn from it. And you've got your reason. But it's when we resist it that we can never find the lesson in it. Okay? So you've released the anger, you've released the hurt, and then the third type is fear-based. This is where terror comes in. Horror can come in here. Just fear of what happened, fear of what could happen, all of the kinds of fears. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to acknowledge that you feel it. I am feeling this way. And I embrace that I'm feeling this way. And I embrace this energy. And I love this energy. And I forgive this energy. And you're going to keep doing that. And then when you feel that that emotion has moved out, kind of tune in again. Do you feel any more heaviness in this memory? And kind of, can you tell what it is? Is it a fear-based emotion? Is it a hurt-based emotion? Is it an anger-based emotion? Is there some other kind of emotion that you need to acknowledge? Sometimes I don't know what the emotions are that I have. I just feel that there's a heavy energy there. And I'm feeling this heavy energy, and I'm embracing this heavy energy. And I love this energy, and I forgive this energy, and I'm growing this energy 10 times, 20 times bigger, and I'm loving it, and I'm feeling it. And when you do that, you're processing that energy out of yourself. You're not resisting it anymore. You're processing it out of yourself. It doesn't have a reason to stick around when you actually acknowledge it and you love it and appreciate it and forgive it. When you go into that space of embracing and loving, it no longer has a reason to be here. It shifts out. And if you can, and sometimes I'll go through and I can't really feel the energies. And like, I know that there's still some stuff from the day that my mom passed away, okay? But I felt so much of it this morning that I had to wait. So sometimes if there's one that is just like super, super, super saturated with feelings, you go through the 3, notice if there's anything else that you feel ready to go through, and then give it a few hours or a day or 2 and come back and visit it again. Allowing, because you're allowing all those energies to move out so that you can come back again and say, okay, it's been a few hours, it's been a couple of days, is there any more anger that I'm feeling? And just allow yourself to just kind of tune in, do a feel it. Now I get that some people have an easier time tuning into emotions than others, but I do believe that everybody can do it. Some people can visualize it and see what the pain looks like. Some people hear it. Some people feel it. Some people just know it's there. Some people have to journal, and if you have to journal it, that's awesome. Write it out. I'm feeling this today, and I'm feeling this about this memory, and I'm feeling it, and do the same words, like I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this anger, I'm feeling this anger 12 times. I'm loving this anger, I'm loving this memory, I'm forgiving this energy. And I write it all out, if that helps you. So the other thought that came to me, it kind of distracted me there for a second, because this came into me and I feel it's important. One of the things that I know from experience and from working with other people is there are certain memories that are really, really, really hard to go to. If you've been abused, if you've been raped, if you've been any kind of abuse, if you have a traumatic experience in your life, like super traumatic, it's maybe hard to go to that place. And this is part of why you do it in little bits. But you may have to start with the kind of the energy in between that. Like just even the thinking about, just like, oh my gosh, just even thinking about going to that memory makes me feel so angry, and work with that anger. Just thinking about going to that memory brings up so much hurt, and work with that. And then the big one, because this is really playing out, is that just thinking about going to that memory brings up so much fear. So now you're dealing with just thinking about going to that memory. And you're dealing with this stuff that initial stuff that comes out. And so you can work with it in layers like that. It's like, okay, well, take the next step. I'm gonna think for a second. Okay, you're gonna start with thinking about that memory. You're gonna think about, maybe take out your role and just say, okay, just thinking about my role in that situation makes me feel this way, makes me feel angry. Those are the angry feelings that I have, just thinking about my part of that. If there's multiple people involved, you can do that. Thinking about the other driver, or thinking about the abuser, you may have to take those bits at a time. And it's not going to be a fast process. This is going to take a bit because there's a lot of feelings there. Maybe before you actually do the events, you need to work on the things leading up to them. I know that I personally experienced a date rape situation. And for me, it's the choices that I made leading up to that experience that hold the most impact on me. That's where I beat myself up the most, is those are the choices that I made. I chose to be alone with that person. I chose to go back to his house. So I need to deal with those feelings before I even deal with the date rape experience. Actually, I've dealt with the date rape experience, so for me, I need to actually go in and do the things leading up to it. Those are choices that I made that I'm not forgiving myself for. But if that helps you to get through your trauma, to take it a bite at a time, or a little bit at a time. With my mom, the first one that I had to do on the day that she died was the horror of seeing her. I kept seeing the image over and over in my mind, of how she looked when she was on so much oxygen and when she looked so helpless. I kept seeing that experience over and over. And I actually did that before really understanding the need to go into the 3 things. So I know that that's my next step, is to go in back. I had released some of that horror, but I haven't gone back in and released the pain. And I haven't gone back in and released the anger and the fear. Like, I've released some of it. So that's my next step. And on the day that my mom died, because there is so much, I've got to take it. Okay, the horror of her seeing that way. Dealing with specifically the feelings about the doctors. feelings about the place that she went, like breaking it apart into little bits so that I can work with it a little bit at a time until when I think about that day, it just is, and there's no emotion there. It just is. It's just a day that happened. It doesn't mean I stop loving my mom. In fact, the more I heal that energy, the easier it is for me to love my mom. To forgive my mom for her role in it, to forgive myself for my role in it, and that anger at myself actually is preventing me from really connecting to my mom's spirit. So, so healing that kind of stuff is not going to take away my mom's memory. It's not going to take away the love for my mom. It's actually going to increase my love, and it's going to make it so that when I can think about my mom, I can think about good times and think about love with her instead of thinking about the negative experiences. And so there you go. You can use the same technique with the 3 emotions for beliefs. And anything preventing you from the beliefs, but I think it's super powerful and super awesome to use it specifically on memories. To go in looking for those 3 things on memories and to take them bite at a time. One chunk, one piece of it. Like I said, for me, it's going to be, okay, I've dealt with like some of the initial surface stuff of the horror of seeing my mom in that position, but I still have a lot of pain there. So I'm going to work on that. I worked this morning on my decision to walk away. When she told me to leave and come back tomorrow, I worked on my decision for that. And I can tell that that has shifted, because when I talk about the horror of seeing my mom, I get tears. When I talk about my decision to walk away, it just is. It was something that happened. Could there have been a better choice? Probably. But I didn't make that choice. I made the choice that I made. I'm not going to go back and change that choice, but I can go back and change the energy around that choice. Okay. Whew, this was a long video. It's so much to say about it, and I really hope that you find power in this, that even if you've heard of me talking about this or other people talking about these 3 things, that maybe there's like a little aha that just like opens it all for you or something. I love you guys so much. I thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I'm super excited to come up with something awesome for next time. I will see you guys. Remember to let your light shine big, bright, live, and beautiful. Be the you that you were created to be, and I'll see you guys next time.